idea for taking revenge on an entire scammer family, even if it ended with all of them dead. I never thought the darkest chapter of my life would begin with something as harmless as a pineapple sucker. Not a military operation, not a secret mission, just a plant used by farmers across Malaysia. People who know me now see me as a businessman. But before this, I served in military intelligence, surveillance, tracking, pattern reading. I know how to disappear, and I know how to make people disappear. I left that life behind, or at least I thought I did, until I met Azam. Azam came into my life at the exact moment my company was scaling. I was handling big customers, the type who order tens of thousands of MD2 suckers at once. Delivering these orders could have doubled my business overnight. Azam looked perfect, young, confident, well-dressed, full of stories. Every sentence he spoke had the same line. My father is a powerful JPJ officer. He'd say it like a badge of honor. He claimed his family owned thousands of acres of MD2 plantations, complete with workers, farms, and top-grade suckers. And he never came empty-handed. He showed documents, photos, videos, land titles, GPS pins. Everything looked real. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew people like me handled big buyers, and if I trusted him, my entire chain would trust him too. So I paid. Small payments at first, then medium ones. Then one huge final payment meant for the biggest buyer I'd ever handled. 300,000 plus gone overnight. The moment the money cleared, Azam vanished. Number inactive. WhatsApp gone. Social media deleted. My customers panicked. My reputation crashed. My business almost died. But Azam didn't know one thing. He didn't scam a normal businessman. He scammed a former intelligence operative. I tracked him. I followed the breadcrumbs. And what I discovered made everything worse. Azam wasn't working alone. His entire family was part of the scam. The documents, the fake farms, the intimidation, all of it was a family operation. And that was the moment the old version of me woke up. Cold, silent, calculating. If the police wouldn't stop them, if the system wouldn't protect victims, then I would. Follow for part 2, when I uncover Azam's entire scammer family. Heelste for taking revenge on an entire scammer family, even if it ended with all of them dead. Before I planned anything, I needed to know who Azam really was, and more importantly, where he came from. And what I found out didn't shock me. It disgusted me, because Azam's family didn't just scam people. They enjoyed destroying them. Let me show you the monsters behind him. 1. The father, a sadist disguised as a JPJ officer. He wasn't retired. He was still in uniform, still abusing the badge like it was his personal weapon. Lorry drivers told me stories that sounded like torture. He didn't ask for bribes. He demanded them. One driver said he forced him to empty his entire wallet onto the burning hot asphalt while laughing. Another said he made a young man kneel on gravel because the guy questioned a salmon. Someone else claimed he threatened to cancel a man's license unless he handed over his wedding ring, the last memory of his late wife. This wasn't corruption. This was cruelty. And whenever victims of Azam complained, he would warn them. I can blacklist you. I can summon you. I can bury your name in the system. And everyone believed him, because he absolutely could. 2. The mother, the quiet mastermind, soft-spoken, polite, pretending to be religious, but she was the one pulling every string. She taught Azam exactly how to manipulate desperate buyers, which tone to use, when to lie, how to use the father's position to scare people. A neighbor once heard her say, "Orang bodoh kena tipu, itu rezeki kita." If stupid people get scammed, that's our blessing. That told me everything I needed to know. 3. The sisters, the scam factory workers. 1. Forged documents, fake land titles, fake approvals, fake plantation photos, all printed in their living room. The other acted as a government officer. Cold, strict, intimidating. She once told a victim, "If you cancel, I'll blacklist your IC. Your details are already in our system." She loved hearing people panic. 4. The brother, the bully. He handled intimidation. If a victim hesitated, he would show up. He screamed, threatened, pushed people around. Someone told me he even shoved an old man into mud for asking for a refund. He always bragged, "My father is JPJ, nobody can touch us." And for a long time, he was right. When I finished gathering everything, one truth became undeniable. This wasn't a family. This was a pack of predators. And predators don't stop unless someone stops them. That's when the old version of me, the intelligence operative, woke up. Follow for part 3, when my surveillance begins and their end becomes inevitable. Heelste for taking revenge on an entire scammer family, even if it ended with all of them dead. I didn't attack Azam's family immediately. I spent 6 months doing what I was trained to do best. Watch, wait, study, hunt. This wasn't random stalking. This was military-grade surveillance, quiet, patient, and invisible. By the end of those 6 months, I knew every member of that family better than they knew themselves. One, the father, the predator who didn't know he was prey. Every day at 6:40 a.m., he ate at the same warung. Same chair, same drink, same arrogant posture. He never noticed the man 2 tables behind him. The man memorizing his walking speed, his driving habits, how long he fumbled with his keys, exactly when he dropped his guard. He terrorized drivers, but he didn't know a bigger terror now followed him. Tara the mother, predictable, distracted, exposed. Every Wednesday morning, same passa, same parking spot, same routine. She always set her water bottle down while lifting groceries. She always looked tired, always defenseless. For 6 months, I walked behind her at the same pace, close enough to see her reflection in car windows, close enough to know her habits by heart. She never sensed me. 3, the sisters, careless and confident. One left home at 8:05 a.m. daily. The other returned at 7:20 p.m. sharp. They acted untouchable, bragging loudly on the phone, walking like their father's badge protected them forever. But I mapped everything. Their jogging routes, fast to Baafissamanlake, and North Sea to where the streetlights failed, which alley corners were blind, what time they walked alone. Each detail was a weapon. For the brother, the easiest one to read. Every night after Mama, he took the same dark alley home. No lights, no cameras, no people. I watched him from the shadows twice, close enough to hear his breathing, close enough to know exactly how fast he walked when he was scared. He thought he was tough. He wasn't. And slowly, without ever seeing me, they started to feel me. Doors locked earlier, conversations got quieter, eyes darted around more often. The whole family became restless. They didn't know what was coming. They didn't know who was watching. But they felt the presence. They felt me. Follow for part 4, when the first death hits, and their nightmare finally begins. Heelste for taking revenge on an entire scammer family, even if it ended with all of them dead. Update. For 6 months, I studied Azam's father, the badge, the arrogance, the cruelty he used to crush innocent people. He was the backbone of their entire scam empire. So he became my first target, the perfect routine. Every night around 10:25 p.m., he took the same quiet federal road home. No lights, no CCTV, just darkness and trees. He thought it made him untouchable. To me, it made him exposed. I picked a moonless night, the kind where even shadows disappear. Earlier that day, I scattered caltrops across a blind corner, hidden under leaves. Then I waited in the trees. The trap. At 10:27 p.m., his Hilux appeared. A second later, pop! A tire blew. He skidded to the side, cursing loudly as he got out, kicking the flat tire like it personally offended him. He didn't see me stepping out from the darkness in a reflective jacket and helmet. Just another road worker. He barked at me. Cepatlah. Saya JPJ, jangan buat saya marah. We seen back a field as I calmly walked closer. The strike. When he turned his back to shine his torch on the tire, everything lined up. One clean, silent strike with a heavy baton. Straight to the throat. Exact angle. Instant collapse. A military-trained takedown that leaves no noise, no mess, no time for a scream. He fell like a puppet with its strings cut. The cover-up. I dragged him into the driver's seat, fixed his posture, placed his hand near the ignition. Then I pushed the Hilux into a shallow ditch and triggered a small electric spark device, a brief flame. Enough damage to confuse investigators. Not enough to burn evidence. The aftermath. By morning, the headlines were out. JPJ officer dies in road accident. People speculated. Some celebrated quietly. Victims whispered that karma had finally arrived. But inside Azam's home, they didn't grieve. They panicked. Their shield was gone. Their protection destroyed. And none of them knew. The nightmare had only just begun. Follow for part 5, when the mother becomes the next one to feel the fear. Herrschte for taking revenge on an entire scammer family, even if it ended with all of them dead. Update. The father's death cracked their house open, but the one who felt it the most was the mother, because she wasn't just the wife. She was the brain behind the entire operation, and she knew exactly how many enemies they had created. So the moment her husband died, she felt something she never felt before. Fear, real fear. Her paranoia was beautiful. She deleted her Facebook overnight, closed all curtains, stopped answering unknown numbers. She walked around the house with her phone pressed to her chest like it was a weapon. She whispered to her daughters, "Ada orang perhati kita. Someone is watching us." She was right. But she thought it was the victims. She never imagined it was me, a ghost she didn't even know existed. Her routine made her vulnerable. Every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m., she went to the same passer, same route, same parking spot. I had already memorized everything. How she carried too many groceries at once. How she used her knee to close the car door. How she always placed her water bottle on the roof of her Myvi. How her hands shook when she searched for her keys. She was distracted, overloaded, emotionally unstable. She made herself an easy target. The setup. I didn't need force with her. I needed opportunity. At the pasar, she did exactly what she always did. She placed her groceries down. She placed her water bottle on the roof of her car. And she turned her back to rearrange the bags. That moment, those few seconds, was all I needed. From behind another parked car, I stepped forward, slipped a small packet of powdered oleander into her water bottle, and walked away. No noise, no contact, no suspicion. In less than 2 seconds, her fate was sealed. The collapse. She drove home, still paranoid, still thinking about the father's death. She didn't even notice the slight bitterness in the water when she took a sip while cooking. Oleander is silent, fast, cruel. She collapsed near the sink, hands shaking, unable to call for help. When Azam found her, he screamed so loudly the neighbors came running. But she was already gone. The aftermath. The family said it was heart failure. The doctor said it was sudden cardiac arrest. Nobody questioned it. But the atmosphere in that house shifted. The father dying was bad. But the mother dying? That terrified them. Because 2 deaths in 2 days isn't coincidence. It's a pattern. And they knew it. Follow for part 6, when the brother, the family's strongest, becomes the easiest one to break. Herrschte for taking revenge on an entire scammer family, even if it ended with all of them dead. Update. After the father and mother died, the next to crumble were the twins, the sisters who helped Azam scam RM8 million from a very dangerous man. I didn't touch them. I didn't have to. All I did was leak their information, their routines, jog routes, photos, to the man they scammed. His reply was instant. Sudah lama aku tunggu. I've waited a long time. That was the moment their fate was sealed. Twin Tadawan, the vanishing. One twin panicked and tried to escape. At 3 a.m., she sped toward the northern border. CCTV saw her walk into a petrol station restroom. And that was the last time anyone ever saw her. Her car was found with the engine running. Phone still on the seat. A few days later, the man sent me one message. Cambodia. She wasn't missing. She was taken and trafficked. A one-way ticket arranged by the same man they stole 8 million from. Twin number 2, the setup. The remaining sister was already breaking. Whispers, crying, pacing the house. She kept repeating, "We scammed the wrong person. He's coming for me." And she wasn't wrong. The man began terrorizing her quietly. Footsteps at night. A knock on the window. A shadow at the gate. He wanted her mind to collapse before her body did. The final night, I watched everything. I was positioned on a hill behind the house, binoculars in my hands, watching the entire scene unfold. At 2:13 a.m., the man slipped into the compound like he lived there. I saw a faint struggle inside the room. Quick, controlled, silent. Minutes later, he walked out calmly, closing the gate behind him. When Azam found her the next morning, she was hanging from the ceiling fan. Everyone said suicide. Police agreed, but I knew it wasn't. I watched the entire thing happen, from a distance, without saying a word. 2 sisters, 2 endings, no fingerprints on me. I didn't kill them. I just handed their names to the devil they created. Follow for part 7, when the brother, the family's loudest bully, finally meets real terror. Hailshta for taking revenge on an entire scammer family, even if it ended with all of them dead. Update. By the time the twins were gone, only 2 were left. Azam and his brother, and for the first time in their lives, the house that used to be full of noise, lies, and arrogance was silent. Truly silent. No mother, no father, no sisters, just 2 men who had built their entire life on fear, now living in fear themselves. The police finally step in. The disappearance of the first twin, the suicide of the second, and the death of the parents. It finally grew too big to ignore. The police opened a serious investigation. And when they dug deeper, they found something unusual. The same dangerous man who had been tracking the sisters, a man with a history, a man whose enemies feared him more than the law. It didn't take long before he was arrested. News spread like wildfire. Possible links to missing Malaysian woman. Organized crime investigation opened. Suddenly it became one of the biggest cases in Malaysia. Trending online, discussed everywhere. Everyone giving their theories, but something even bigger happened. Every scam Azam ever did went public. Someone, maybe a victim, maybe a hacker, maybe karma, started uploading evidence online. Voice recordings, fake documents, screenshots of conversations, victim testimonials, old harassment audio from the father, threats from the brother, everything. And when the truth came out, Malaysia didn't pity them, not even a little. Thousands commented, serves them right. This family ruined so many lives. They deserve every bit of this. The comment sections were brutal. The whole country finally saw what I saw. Azam and his brother weren't victims. They were parasites exposed under a spotlight. When the police arrested the dangerous man, Azam and his brother thought they were safe. They even started acting tough again. The brother bragged loudly, "See, I told you we can't be touched. Police already caught the guy. We're clear." He walked around the neighborhood again, puffing his chest, acting like the same bully he always was. Azam followed him, nodding, pretending their nightmare was over. They genuinely believed, it's done. The danger is gone. We survived. But they didn't know the truth. They didn't know the dangerous man wasn't the one they needed to fear. They didn't know the real threat wasn't arrested. They didn't know I was still watching. Silent, patient, waiting for the moment the brother felt safe again. Because the moment a predator relaxes is the moment he dies. Follow for part 8, when the brother's tough guy act becomes the exact reason he doesn't live to see another sunrise. Hailshta for taking revenge on an entire scammer family, even if it ended with all of them dead. Update. After the police arrested the dangerous man, Azam and his brother somehow convinced themselves the nightmare was over. Especially the brother. He bragged loudly again, talked big, walked like he owned the street. He kept telling Azam, "We survived. We're safe. Nobody can touch us now." He didn't realize the truth. The only reason he felt safe was because I wanted him to. His guard needed to be down for the ending he deserved. I started small. A rock against his window at 2 a.m. Footsteps outside the house. A whisper through the mail slot. A shadow at the corner of his eye. He stopped sleeping, stopped eating, started keeping a knife beside him. The bully started begging Azam to stay close. That's when I knew he was ready. I sent him a message from an unknown number. "We need to talk. I know what happened to your sisters. Meet me." He took the bait immediately. No thinking, no planning, just pure panic. He grabbed the keys and rushed out of the house alone, ignoring Azam begging him to stay. He drove to the abandoned construction site on the outskirts of town, a place full of half-built structures. Deep pits, rusted metal, and no lights. Perfect. When he stepped out of the car, the whole place was silent. He shouted, "Oi, siapa kat sini? Keluarlah!" His voice echoed across the empty concrete. That's when the sound system I planted activated. A single recording of his mother's voice. The tone she used when scolding him. "Ini semua salah kamu. This is all your fault." He froze. He backed away. He tripped. He stumbled deeper into the unfinished structure, thinking someone was following him. The construction site had a massive vertical shaft, a deep, unguarded drop meant for an elevator system. In daylight, anyone could avoid it. In pitch-black darkness, with fear clouding his mind, he never saw it. One wrong step, one sudden slip, one scream cut short by the air, and then silence. A fall like that doesn't leave a chance for survival. No one heard him. No one found him until days later. By then, the police could only conclude fatal fall. No signs of struggle. Likely accident. But I knew the truth. The bully who bragged, who threatened victims, who shoved elderly men, who thought the world feared him, died running from his own mind, died because he chased a ghost I created, died because justice finally reached him. And now, only one person remained, the main architect of all the pain, the last one standing. Follow for part 9, the ending Azam never saw coming. Heuschte for taking revenge on an entire scammer family, even if it ended with all of them dead. Update: Azam was the only one left. His father, accident. His mother, heart failure. His sisters gone in unspeakable ways. His brother dead in the dark. Azam knew the truth. He was next. Fear hollowed him out. He couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't breathe inside that cursed house. So he made the decision I predicted months earlier. He ran. Not to an airport, not to a border checkpoint, but to Sungai Golok, the illegal crossing criminals use when their lives are over. He thought he was choosing survival. He didn't know he was walking into the ending I prepared. The crossing. At 3 a.m. he met the smugglers. He didn't question why they knew his name. He didn't question why they already had a boat ready. He just begged, "Please, get me out of Malaysia." They nodded. Not helpers, not rescuers, just men paid to deliver him to the next nightmare. He thought he was going to Thailand. He wasn't. Cambodia. A slow death. Azam woke up in Cambodia, a remote camp hidden deep in jungle, a place where identities disappear, and people are treated like tools. Here, punishment wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was slow. Daily exhaustion, endless work, no rest, no mercy, no future. Sleep came in minutes, food came in scraps. Hope never came at all. And the longer he stayed, the more he whispered the same line every night. "Kalau aku tahu hidup jadi begini, lebih baik aku tak lahir." If I knew life would end like this, I'd rather never have been born. That was the first time Azam wished he didn't exist. The ending. Azam didn't die in a dramatic fight. He didn't die running. He didn't die screaming. He died exactly as someone like him should. Slowly, quietly, forgotten. One morning he simply couldn't get up. His body was empty. His spirit was gone long before that. The guards carried him away without a name, without a prayer, without a second glance. Malaysia never saw him again. The world didn't notice he vanished. And justice finally felt complete. Azam spent his life ruining others and ended his life exactly the way he deserved, wishing he had never been born.